Hey, Al, you've got 7 upperclassmen. How do you preach patience with this? You can't be patient. You have to go get the job. Like, how do you balance that? I guess.
Yeah, it's just a daily. I kind of mentioned it earlier. It's a daily reminder of what you need to improve on individually, and it's a reminder of the brotherhood. Like you gotta. It's hard to be at your best if you're, you know, in a negative state of mind, and so they're gonna have issues. It's part of it. You're gonna have times where you're like, damn, I want to play, and that's okay. That's good. Like to me, I want a player to feel like that. However, let's keep the main thing the main thing. Main thing is the team is performing at a high level. The main thing is I'm getting better as a player because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you are going to have a time when you're out there. You are going to have your moment, and if you're not ready, it's going to be on you. Each of these guys are going to have a moment, and when they're out there, I want them to be ready, and that's what we preach.
Are the older guys being pushed?
Oh yeah, they're being pushed. Yeah, every day. Every day they're pushed. Every day in the meeting
room. Young
room.
guys are coming.
Yeah, and that's the competitive culture we have, and I'll say this though, and this is unique to Ohio State, at least in my experiences. They are being pushed, but unlike any other place, I think our older guys do a great job of helping the young guys. Like I can tell you the countless times Barron's working with somebody, or Tufts working with somebody, Pete's working with somebody, and that really is unique. And I think that speaks to the brotherhood. So, but it is competitive. But in the same breath, I think they do a really good job, and that goes back to Josh Perry. I mean, hell, I just saw him here today. Yeah. That meant he was in the building earlier today for meetings. Like that brotherhood piece, big brother part is very important here, and it shows. So
great to see as a coach, right?
I love it. Yeah, makes you a better coach.
Do you think it helps at all to have 3 guys in that junior class kind of in the same boat together? I mean, it's some kind of support they can give each other as they're all sort of fighting through that, being blocked essentially as far as starting roles?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. But I don't know if I'm being blocked from being starter. I gotta keep playing because my number is going to be called. Like we're not 3 guys. I think we all agree this year it wasn't just 3 guys out there the whole game. The guys are going to roll. Dallas Gannon's got to roll. Taraji's got to roll. Kayvon's got to roll. Like when I say roll, they got to play, and not just play. They got to play at a high level. You know, like so. It's hard to think like, oh, I'm not thinking like that. I'm thinking like, look, coach is he gonna call my number out there, and I doggone better be ready to play. And that's the mentality we just preaching. Myself and Greg Madison, because he works with the Sams. Like that narrative is what we're all about.
But it is rare in this era, especially
man.
with the transfer portal, keep guys here that long. I mean, how, as a coach, how have you tried to, approach that as far as knowing those guys could easily jump for another opportunity, but wanting to keep them here?
I don't even think about it. If a young man wants to move on and he feels like he's, however he feels about it, then, what can you do? I don't think about that when I coach him, though. I coach him like I would coach my son. I say, here's the deal. Here's the truth. Here's what you got to fix. Because you're going to have to fix it here or there. It ain't like you just going to go somewhere else and it's fixed. No, you're going to have to do the work some point. And I just tell him, hey, everything we try to do is to help you. Like, what Ryan Day does on a daily basis for his players, it's amazing. Everything from mental health, everything, he's public with that. Physically, anything we need, we're blessed to be at Ohio State. I've been in some places where you don't have that. You don't have the means to do it. We really try to do, from Mickey Marotti, we do a great job of trying to extend ourselves beyond the field. So again, like I don't think anybody's mindset is like, well, I don't think, at least me, I don't think like that. And that's just how I go about it.
What's the toughest thing you have to get out of a young player? Is it fighting the impulse and just playing your position? What's the toughest thing that you find?
Discipline.
Yeah.
So like doing what you're supposed to do when we need you to do it. That's the number one thing, young guy. And part of it's the thinking. It's a lot, man. You think about it, you're a freshman, 6 months ago you at high school, you could do whatever you want. And like high school, you can be a great high school player, and live a lie. I was in college. I was in high school in Columbus. I thought what I did at high school was good enough. And I got to college, and guess what? I found that it wasn't. And you have to kind of, you have to work through that. And our guy, we see that with the freshmen coming in. They got to work through that. It's almost like a shock. Like the first time you realize, hey, this didn't work. And then you got to rebite, is the term I use, and say, all right, let's figure this out. Let's grow. So that's the number one thing. And then from there, the repetition. Tommy Eichenberg's going to be a really good player. And that's what you see. Like he's getting better day by day because he's doing the little things. Because in order for you to play, I don't care where, first thing the coach has to do is what? Trust you, right? They got to trust you. Now, you got to be talented, but they got to trust you. And that's the thing. How do you trust a guy? Well, they consistently do what they're supposed to do. And that is, for young guys coming in, you can do that on defense, you can do it on special teams. So whatever opportunity you have, you can do it in the meetings. Yeah. You do it any way, and that's what we focus on young guys.
Are you seeing Taraja and Kayvon, have they bought into that aspect?
Oh, yeah. Now, listen, those guys, I look at them, you want to look at them like young guys, they're old guys, they're juniors. Yeah. So, but yeah, they have bought in, they work their tails off, they do. And they're open-minded to what they got to fix. They got to improve on. Because we all got things I got the things to improve on. We all do. So, like, they have bought into that. Yes.
Hey, Al.
Last question.
When you have a guy, I know you treat all of them like your son, but when you have a guy who has battled through as many injuries as Hilliard has, and is a local guy, how much do you want to pour yourself into a guy like that?
I mean, well, and that right there is like everything. I mean, you can't. I mean, that guy deserves everything you got, and you just have unbelievable amount of respect for him, and myself and Greg Madison, because Greg works with him as well. Like, that guy is a leader. He doesn't have to say a word. You respect him because of what he's been through. So I think your question was how do I see him as a, if he was my son? It's a pretty easy thing to do. It's not that he's like he's an easy case, because he's a great kid, great person, great man.
I'm assuming that Tough is kind of in the same category. How much comfort does it give you to have a guy with that kind of experience who's been here long enough to have a pension probably?
Yeah, yeah. He should have a pension. That's funny. I'll use that. Because he is he's an adult. He's very mature. It's hard to put in words. He meets like a coach. Like he's probably in there now or soon to be in there. We watch tape. Almost, he's like he's an extension of a coach, and so it's very comfortable because he's also a guy that can help lead and show young guys how to conduct a business because he has been here. And I'm sure he was impacted by all the great linebackers that come here over the past. So it's incredibly important to have Tough Borland in our room and on our team.
He took a
Last question.
a lot. There was criticism of.
There we go.
No, I'm just saying. I got you.
I like you.
I can talk, yeah.
Tell him to go away.
No, you could.
Tough went through and came back from the Achilles injury, and it clearly wasn't himself. And he was 18, played better last year. But it's one of these guys. If you're here forever, fans can say, what's next kind of thing. He's just a guy who just kind of goes, right?
Yeah.
He's unaffected by anything like that. And first of all, how well did he play last year?
Played his tail off. He was instrumental to us and our success. Incredibly instrumental. He was one of the anchors. And we talk about trust. I trust him. I trust him with my, dare I say, life. I do. Out there on the field, I trust him tremendously. It's hard to put in words because of I know his preparation. And so, he did play well. But again, he's a guy, he'll tell you the things he wants to improve on. But and he's getting better. Like today, he got better at a couple things. So, I thought he played very well. Can't speak to 18. I can speak to this past year, and I expect him. I told him, I expect you to make a play. I don't really think he thinks about what people talk about, and if he does hear it, I think he's the knack of and this is just what I believe. Like, if you want to find the common trait of all greats, I don't care football, I don't care Bill Gates, they have the ability to reframe. You can give them anything, negative, positive, they'll reframe and flip it to their advantage. And that's what Tough has. That's mental toughness. Now, he's not perfect, but that's him. And so, anything people may say, I don't know what they could say after the year he had. Hell, they thought the guy played his tail off, but it doesn't really matter. We kind of got that foxhole mentality, and so that's my take on that.
And one more thing about Taraji, you mentioned before. How much of a jump do you think he can take this year? And some of his injuries last year, but how important could he be?
He's critical, man. Yeah, I tell you, Taraj, man, he's one of the more talented guys we got. And when the pads come on, what he does great he is incredibly instinctive, but he has contact courage like no other, man. Like we call him Bobby Boucher. I mean, you know, the water boy. I mean, he'll roll up and just bah. And like that mentality is awesome, you know. Like that's the position. He embodies it, and he's very talented, man. He's a very talented player, man. He's great feet. He's a great eval. Mark Pantoni, that's, you know, like another one. That's another great one. And so like with him, he just got to keep getting the reps. The injuries hurt him. He didn't get the reps. He missed preseason camp. You imagine being a sophomore, you miss preseason camp. It's hard, man. And so then he had another. You know, it's just tough for him. He had some bad breaks, but he's shown great heart and work ethic, and he's had a great off season. His body weight's changed, body composition changed. He got six-pack going, and he's really bought in. And so, yeah, I expect we're going to be a really good team because of him. We need him. We need Taraj.
I'm sorry I walked up late here, but
Yeah.
you know, Pete described a conversation with you maybe after the season where you said he played everywhere but six technique.
Yeah.
Like, why is it that you can put him anywhere on the field and trust him to do whatever you guys can come up with?
Yeah, he's just physically, he's athletic. That's the start, you know. But I guess probably I should do it in reverse order. He's accountable.
Yeah.
Like you ask, hey Pete, be on the numbers at the 40. Got it. You ain't got to hear, no, what? I got it. You know what I mean? And he's very talented. And so, like, I think that blend is why we feel confident about him doing all those things. At six technique, he may get his tail whooped the first rep, but I'll put my money on him second and third. Like, he'll figure it out. Like, we had him play in the post. And he just, whatever we ask him to do, like, that guy is just, godly, he's special.
Yeah, I know we make too much out of like one day of practice we get to watch, but like and that seemed like a new role for him on Monday, and maybe he'll play somewhere else on Friday. I don't know,
Yeah.
but like, is that the ability to move him around? What does that do for the other 10?
It just, again, man, I think it just, we can utilize our talent better because now we're not pigeonholed. You know, we don't have like, you know, 2 mics and 4 wheels and six. Nah, forget all that. We got linebackers. Everybody kind of has a chance to, you know, identify the basics of that spot, and then we can be creative. We can do a good job of putting them in the right spot. So I think that does a lot for the other 10 guys. It makes them more valuable. It makes everybody more valuable.
Did we make too much of the bullet position last spring?
I don't know if you did. What do you mean by that?
Well, we saw safeties working at linebacker, and then throughout the year you played mostly a linebacker at that spot.
Yeah.
So did we overblow the
No, I mean,
change in positions that guys were going to make, and what, or did Pete make that different?
yeah, I think Pete just really did a good job. I mean, he was did a heck of a job. You know, historically that you know, the bullet and the Sam, like there are some differences in the skill set, but Pete just did such a good job, man. And not knocking the bullet. I think our bullets really were good players, did a great job. You know, it was more so just Pete. You know how he was playing such a high level.
Right.
You know, so I don't think anybody, I mean, I think this was our first ride, you know? And so you walk in with this plan, and as the year goes, you know, you play off the moment a little bit, and I think that's all that was.
And we talked to Court, and he said that was what he was talked about.
Yeah.
Recruiting.
Yeah.
How much does he fit into the future of what you guys want to do there?
I think he fits like a glove. You watch his high school tape, you see his body physically. You know, his problem is he's too daggone fast. He's as fast as a safety. So, I mean, he's really talented. He's like I think if you've only been here for 2 months or whatever, he's got like all A's. Like, he's a machine. So, yeah, he can maybe be a great safety. Who knows? So, yeah, we do see him. His film, he played some like the bullet type position, and he's got contact curves. Like, he'll go up and hit, and he's no problem sticking his face in there and putting his body in there. But he's a really good athlete, man, and he can cover ground. And Coach Combs, man, you know, and Coach Barnes, both those guys, man. I mean, you know, they can probably speak to it better than me in that end. But yeah, he would be, you know, recruiting. That is the type that we're looking for in that spot. Yeah.
What is the status
Last question
of
for real.
the position? What is I mean, is it still what you thought it would be last year, or is it kind of
what?
evolved for this defense? I mean,
Oh,
how
yeah.
important is the bullet position, or is it kind of just evolved into, well, we'll see?
No, I think you got to have some piece on the defense that's multiple. Like, the issue with if you're just fixed in one thing, they can exploit you. You know, like, and then when you play really good athletic tight ends, who's an athletic big, they got problems. So you got to have a guy that you feel good about doing both. So I think that's a staple of any defense. It's our defense. Just like the offenses are trying to recruit those H's. That's why they want H's.
Right.
Because what is it?
It's the counter to the H.
Yeah, or the I'm sorry about that. Or like the twitchy running back, receiver. What is he? Because guess who that's a mismatch for, man? The linebackers. We got to cover this guy. He don't look like a running. He don't move like a running back, but he's a running back. So like those, as many guys as you feel comfortable in multiple situations, the better you'll be. So yeah.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, you guys got it.